Hi Virgo, here's a general look at your solar chart for June 2015, and this is a month when you're going to be more aware of targets and goals and your outer image, but also maybe somebody else's outer image, maybe somebody else's targets and goals, as you are the dutiful helper in the zodiac always. But this is a time for you to be more aware of the powers that be, maybe, or traditions, maybe historical traditions for you personally, or maybe it's to do with bureaucracy and social mores and social sort of standards, and you've got to be consistent as you move forwards. The Sun and Mars and Mercury all in the area to do with the parent, so for some of you that concept could be more emphasized, whether it's your personal parents, somebody else's parents, or you as the parent, and playing out that role as best you can. Mercury is still going to be retrograde until the 11th. So Mercury is in an area where you can be discussing, chewing over the fat, corresponding with others about just kind of where you're going to be going from here in life, or indeed where they're going to be going from here in life. But it can be also that you're thinking more along the lines of the future with career, and also anybody out there that you can get on side which can help and facilitate your success in a major plan or a project or in something that is more every day. But you need to keep your ear to the ground and pick up those interesting bits of information. Also, transport, public transport, travel could be more on your mind. Mercury continues to retrograde until the 11th, and this may be a slower moving. This slower moving time allows you to dot the I's and cross the T's. It always does with Mercury retrograde, because it is going to be going more slowly, and you are going to be waiting on somebody to get back to you, or for something to sort of come to fruition, or indeed maybe having to postpone something and reschedule it for later, or to do with red tape, to do with getting filling in forms or anything like that. Then this gives us a chance to think things through a little bit more thoroughly. Once the retrograde is over from the 11th, all your ducks are likely to be in a very neat little row, much neater than they would be when Mercury is going direct forwards. Now, until the 6th, Venus is warming up your friendships, your associations. You feel supported as you move forwards. It's to do with it's to do with your buddies, your mates, but it's also to do with anybody else you consider to be your kind of home people, but it's also to do with those more at arm's length, like associations you maybe have at work or within a club or a society, a circle of some kind. It is definitely a very, very progressive feeling time for Venus in that area there. It's been there since mid-May. And so you feeling as though that you're getting the ball rolling in a gentle sort of way, maybe just at the idea stage on something which will pick up momentum later on, but pooling forces and resources with others at this time could be very interesting for you, but also could be educational, but it could also be comforting and beneficial in a sort of emotional kind of sense as well. And then Venus moves into this background area of your chart, where she will be for an extraordinarily long transit, going from June the 6th until October the 17th. And this is the area where you Virgos are really going to come into your own, because this is you giving unselfish help to others and getting perhaps no more out of it than the satisfaction and the reward that you are helping other people. Whether this is in your personal life or whether it is in a working context, it still will mean that you are going to be doing the thing that you're quite good at, which is being there for somebody else in a practical sort of a way, but also maybe in an emotional sort of a way as well. And if there's a good cause, if there's some kind of work which you can put the hours in the background to bring something about in the future, then this would be the time to be doing that in a loving way with friends or with partners, with family, whatever it is, because Venus doesn't like doing things on her own. She likes company. So this can be you and others working in the background on something with a good idea. This is a very imaginative area. It's also an area to do with touching base with the higher levels, source energy. It's to do with healing, very much the spiritual healing area, but it's also to do with your ordinary everyday type medical stuff as well, checkups and the like. Because it's such a long transit, it's likely that there will be more than one translation of this energy as you go through between June and October. So I'll be coming back to that. But these two together, well, the other one is Jupiter. Jupiter is already there. So those two together over this time period is going to mean that you grow from deep levels, I think, in understanding, in wisdom, and add to the pool of goodwill in whatever way, quiet way, you know, this is going on. But also, you could be kind of stirring the cauldron, and not in any negative sense, of a melting pot of amazing ideas with others. And I say that particularly this month, and some of next month as well, about half of next month in particular, although it can be all the way through until the transits of Venus is out of there, is because of the aspect with Uranus. Now this aspect with Uranus means there is huge potential at the moment for things to drop in your lap out of a clear blue sky, and you weren't expecting it, but there it is. It's like an idea whose time has come. It can also, so that is in a collective sort of social sense, but it can also be in your personal life. It can be that, you know, with the great cogs going round, this is finally the moment for something just to drop out of the sky, or somebody to drop out of the sky into your life. But maybe it's a little bit of both, you know, it could be like that. Yeah, as I say, I'll come back to that later. So then we have a move of the Sun moving into a very sort of progressive, faster moving area from the 22nd, and also Mars jumping in there with the Sun from the 25th onwards. So there you got this feeling of future-orientated ideas and things coming together where you thought, gosh, I never thought this was going to shift, and here it is shifting again. Technology could be coming into this, you know, information technology, but other kinds of technology as well, and getting your head around that. It's something which has maybe been simmering on the back burner of your mind or of your life, and now whoosh, you can move forwards with that. Now this position of Venus and Jupiter will be underpinning things which tend to be selfless, things which tend to be, I'm going to be there for that other person, whether that's in your personal life or not. You can be healing, you can be touching base, you can be helping others to heal, you can be facilitating others, but at the same time, from the 22nd onwards, Mars and Sun are in this really, really forward-moving area, and then Mercury will be coming into there next month. Right, Saturn is returning to her previous position and will be challenging you to work more consistently and routinely at networking, making connections, making useful contacts, writing, speaking, media, creative self-expression, art, crafts. I mean, anywhere where you can just express and join with others, connect with others in their expression, and sort of compare notes and kind of pool knowledge, pool resources. It's a house of education as well. So yeah, and you could be very much developing your communication skills further. Also coming into this is technology again. There might be a need for you to know kind of, you know, how to work something. And also vehicles and communications equipment, like computers and stuff like that. And it's likely that you'll be learning a lot. You'll be on quite a learning curve during this briefish stint with Saturn back in the old position, and because Saturn moved out of there on Christmas Eve, December last year, and now Saturn's gone back just into the very, very edge of the end of Scorpio. So that's going to be going on from June the 14th until September. So just yeah, just be aware that that's where the emphasis is now. And you Virgos born the 23rd to the 25th of August, or 21st to the 22nd of September, or with 0 to 2 degrees rising or 28, 29 degrees rising, going to feel the energy the most this month. Jupiter, as I've said, is helping you to grow and expand into amazing new areas, but in an inner way, on inner planes, through practices like Qigong, Tai Chi, yoga, mindfulness, meditation, art, also through the healing and the nurturing of your own body, but also the healing and the nurturing of others. And this is an area where you can be your own worst enemy. It's quite a, it's an area of deep old patterns. So you can shoot yourself in the foot sometimes because you can't change old habits. You can't change old perspectives on things and emotional patterns. And you Virgos born the 7th to the 15th of October, September, or with 15 to 22 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most. And then finally, once again, Neptune, particularly for you Virgos born 31st of August to the 3rd of September, with 8 to 11 degrees rising. Yes, I know, it moves very, very slowly. During this long transit of Neptune in your opposite sign, you have to be careful not to become the martyr. Also with Venus and Jupiter where they are as well. Putting yourself out there constantly with never a thought for how you feel today and what you would prefer to be doing. So you really do have to learn about boundaries. And as long as you get the balance of those right, then you can be that loving support or bridge in another's life, or indeed be the loving support in your own. But at the same time, you don't sacrifice your own style, your own goals in life, your own aspirations, your own needs, your own dreams, because you figure that somebody else isn't just going to be able to come up to that bar, you know. Well, that's fine. We all have our different levels, but you need to just almost like keep the faith and keep moving towards that dream that you want to achieve. Not in some ridiculous sort of head in the clouds way. You know, we live in a very well, many times we feel quite unfree and limited in this reality, but in a grounded sort of a way. And then it should be okay. If you're the facilitator for another, if you're the healer for another, then again, don't allow it to become too onerous. Being the healer, being the helper or the assistant, so it doesn't have to be healer as in, you know, like hands-on healing or anything like that, but it might be, but or just being, you know, the useful practical help in somebody else's life, whether you get paid for it or not, does not preclude us from also you know, having integration, having good experience, having positive experience, and having a happy life. And you should be slowly developing yourself at the same time. So careful not to get too distorted a view of somebody else's worth, and follow them without really checking in with your own inner compass. You Virgos born with, I've said that. So you know, and that's it for June. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, listen to those. And also, if you want to check up on anything, this text is on my website, and there it is for you to read. And I'll see you the next time.